Okay, so today we're going to work on changing to polynomial and x-intercept form. I don't really like the way I said polynomial right there. Now I feel like I can't even say polynomial. Polynomial, not polynomial. I mean, you could say it like that, but I'm getting really sidetracked here. I might stop the video and start it over. I won't though. I'm going to keep it. Polynomial. So we're changing to polynomial in x-intercept form. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that bell, boys and girls. Write the following functions in polynomial and x-intercept form if possible. Okay, so this one is currently in transformation form. So in order to put it into polynomial form first, I need to multiply out this x minus 3 squared. Now, if you don't remember, x minus 3 squared is the same as x minus 3 times x minus 3. So when I'm doing that, I have to distribute the x to both this x and the negative 3, and then the negative 3 to the x and negative 3. The other way you can do it is to look at this and realize that that is a perfect square. So all I really need to do is square the first term. That becomes x squared. Multiply negative 3 times x. That gives me negative 3x. Times 2 will give me negative 6x. And then square the last term. Negative 3 squared is plus 9. And then I have a plus 2 on the end. I can multiply my 0.4 times each one of these. That gives me 0.4 x squared minus 2.4 x plus 3.6 plus 2. And then I can combine my 2 and 3.6. It gives me 0.4 x squared minus 2.4x plus 5.6. That is my polynomial form. Then I need to put it in x-intercept form, if possible, it says. So the first thing I need to do is look at my polynomial form here, and I need to check and see if it's possible. So I'm going to do b squared minus 4ac. Which means I do negative 2.4 squared minus 4 times 0.4 times 5.6. Negative 2.4 squared gives me 5.76. And then 4 times 0.4 times 5.6 gives me 8.96. .76 minus 8.96 gives me negative 3.2, which is obviously negative. Since this is negative, it means that there are no x-intercepts. So it's not possible to put this one in x-intercept form since no x-intercepts exist. Okay, let's try the next example. Here I have 3x squared minus 3.9x minus 43.2 this function is already in polynomial form. So now we have to put it into x-intercept form. In order to do that, I have to factor out of 3. So I need to divide each one of these terms by 3 to get this 3 away from the x squared. So I'm going to pull a 3 out in front. That leaves me with just x squared minus 1.3x, and then 43.2 14.4. So now I have the 3 out in front times this polynomial form. And so I have to find my zeros for this to put it in x-intercept form. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check my b squared minus 4ac to see if I can even get a 0 here. So that's negative 1.3 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 14.4. So if I do negative 1.3 squared, that's 1.69. And then it's going to be plus 4 times 14.4. The reason it's going to be a plus is because negative 4 times negative 14.4 make that a positive by multiplying those. So 4 times 14.4 plus 1.69 . That's going to give me 59.29. So that's a positive, which tells me that there's going to be 2 x-intercepts. So now I can take what I found here, this 59.29, and I can just plug it into my formula. Remember, our quadratic form is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Well, I have this part now, and so I just need to plug the rest of it in. Negative over negative 1.3 gives me positive 1.3 plus or minus the square root of 59.29 over 2 times 1. Square root of 59.29 is 7.7. This is 1.3 plus or minus 7.7 over 2. So now if I do 1.3 plus 7.7, that gives me 9 over 2. 1.3 minus 7.7 gives me negative 6.4 over 2. So my 2 answers would be 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Negative 6.4 divided by 2 is negative 3.2. So now I have to plug those back into the x-intercept form. Apparently I didn't move this down enough. So if I go all the way back up to the top where we started here, it was 3 times all of this. So the 3 is still there. You can't just get rid of it because we don't like it. So it'd be 3 times x minus 4.5 times x plus 3.2. And this is x-intercept form. Okay, part C now is to put it in either x-intercept form or polynomial form. Nice thing for this one is it's already in x-intercept form. So now I just need to put it in polynomial form. In order to do that, I just have to multiply it out. So x times x and x times 2, and negative 4 times x and negative 4 times 2. Leave the negative 2 in front for now. X times x gives me x squared. X times 2 gives me 2x. Inside, negative 4 times x is minus 4x. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. I'm going to combine my like terms here. It's negative 2 times x squared minus 2x minus 8. 2x minus 4x gave me negative 2x. And now I distribute my negative 2 to each. It's negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. Ta-da! Now we've learned how to change it into polynomial form and into x-intercept form. Now we're going to learn how to change it to transformation form. I will give you warning that the first one here is absolutely dreadful. I mean, not dreadful, but not good either. Not dreadful. So this one starts in polynomial form. And starting in polynomial form, the first thing I have to notice is I have a number in front of the x squared, and I'm going to have to factor that out. So I'm going to group it off and factor. Start by grouping these first 2 terms together because they both have an x in it. And I'm going to pull out a negative 3. So if I pull a negative 3 out, that leaves me with just x squared. Now this is crucial because I can't do anything else if I don't pull the negative 3 out. I have to have a 1 as my coefficient for x squared. But then 4 divided by 3 is not pretty. So we're going to leave it as negative 4 over 3x. The reason that sign changed is because I pulled a negative out, which is going to change that sign. And then it's still minus 1. So far so good, right? Next I'm looking at my b term. This would be my b term right here, the negative 4 over 3. And so I'm going to do an aside to the problem. And I pull that negative 4 over 3 out. And I have to complete the square, which means I take that over 2 and square it. Now if this is a fraction and I'm dividing by 2, that's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. 2 is the same as 2 over 1. So this is going to be negative 4 over 3 times 1 over 2. I'm still squaring it. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 4 over 6 reduces to negative 2/3. And now when I square that, it gives me a positive 4/9. Whatever I get here goes into this problem right there. So this is going to be negative 3 times x squared minus 4/3 x plus 4/9. I still have the minus 1 out here. And before I can move on, if I can't just randomly throw a 4/9 into a problem without doing something else to the problem to get rid of it, so I need to subtract something from the back side. But I'm not going to subtract 4/9, even though that's what I put in, because this is really negative 3 times 4/9. So I need to subtract 12/9 or 4/3. So if I have a coefficient out front, instead of subtracting just 4/9, because that's what I put in, I have to actually multiply this times this number and then subtract it. So negative 3 times 4 gave me negative 12/9, which reduces to negative 4/3. And since that's a negative 4/3, it should be a plus 4/3. Because I've really subtracted 4/3 from inside of here, so I need to add it on the outside. Now, whatever you get whenever you get this term here, before that we had negative 2/3. So my next step of simplifying, I don't know why that just threw that, but my next step of simplifying, leave it as negative 3, and then this is now x minus 2/3 squared. Because when I squared the negative 2/3, that gave me 4/9 for this last term. And I need you to just trust me that x minus 2/3 squared would give me this. Now I combine these terms on the outside. Negative 1 plus 4/3 gives me plus 1/3. And I am in transformation form.